how to make your cacao. So I've got all of my paraphernalia out here so I can show you the different ways that you can make cacao at home and make it absolutely delicious. Now, I would recommend in the beginning that you use a set of scales if you've got them. If not, you can just gauge it by a tablespoon. But if you have got the scales, you need your mug to start with. And I use quite a small mug because a common mistake with cacao is that people use too much water. So you want around 200 millilitres, 250 millilitres of water. If you're using a big mug, it might be half of that or 3/4 of that. So I use a much smaller mug, which I know is around 200 millilitres. And then you're either going to measure out your 1 tablespoon of cacao, your 2 tablespoons, your 20 grams, whatever it is that you're using. Perhaps you're doing a ceremony today and you want to use a full 42 grams. So your cacao is already chopped. So the way that I make it for myself, and if I'm making it for others, apart from if it's in ceremony with lots more, I use a different method. But there's just a few of us. I actually weigh it out in each individual cup first. So I'm going to go for between 15 and 20 grams. There we go. I've got 20 grams there. And then you want some hot but not boiling water. So just wait for the kettle to come slightly off the boil. And then I actually pour the water straight into my mug so I know that I've got the right amount. Okay. And then the method that you do after this is going to depend on what you've got to hand. Actually, let's just talk about what you want to add to your cacao. Now, I mentioned in the last video that the cacao is very, very bitter. And so you may want to sweeten it with I've got some honey here, you may have some maple syrup, you may have some coconut sugar, or we have actually got this rose syrup, which is absolutely gorgeous. If you kind of like that Turkish delight kind of flavour, that rose essence, this is really nice. It's a simple organic sugar syrup with rose in there, which is really good for calming you down, calming emotions, and also opening the heart. So cacao's a heart opener anyway, but to add the rose syrup to it is going to be even more so. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of this into the cacao. And then anything else that you want. So really this is up to you. You could add some vanilla, you could add, I've got some cinnamon here, so I'm going to just put a little pinch of cinnamon in. Cayenne pepper can work well, turmeric can work well. There's loads of different options. And then you're either going to pour it into a pan and have a hand whisk. And this is the slowest and most mindful way to make your cacao. So if you've got the time, or if you haven't got any other equipment, this is just fine. And the slower that you can cook it, essentially, to have the heat really, really low, and the more you can whisk it, the more the fats are going to break down, the thicker and creamier it's going to become. The other method to do that is to put it in the pan and then to use a battery operated whisk. And this gets a really, really nice froth to your cacao. And then the last way is if you have got some sort of high speed blender, then you're just going to pour the cacao into the blender, then give it a little whiz up, and then pour your cacao back into your mug. It's thick and creamy, and I'm just going to show you there. And before you drink and enjoy your cacao, set some intentions. I always love to show some gratitude to Mama Cacao for coming out of the rainforest, for all the people involved in that process. So the people that have helped to grow it, the pickers, the transporters, you know, how cacao come into your consciousness. I like to show some gratitude to that, to Mama Cacao, the spirit of Mama Cacao herself. And then set an intention before you drink and enjoy your cacao. And if you can, give yourself permission to really slow down and enjoy this process mindfully. Cheers.